Hello everyone, welcome to a completely different video on my channel than my usual videos. I decided to make a short series about how I produce a video. And I'm making this series for a couple of reasons. One reason is that it's fun to do, because it's something else. And the second reason is that I'm teaching a course about how to produce YouTube videos or how to build up a channel at my university. And I thought the best way to see how I do it is actually through a video on YouTube. So this video is going to be about the hardware I use, and then there will be a second video which shows the editing process. So to show you around my tiny studio, I'm going to take my smartphone and show you my camera, my lights, my microphone up close, the laptop that's right here that shows me the tab, and that's also recording the tab and the audio. Let's do it. All right, let's start with the cameras. My very first videos were made with this CX410 camcorder. And you know, it's pretty okay, but of course the picture quality is low and there's so much noise in the video, it's crazy. So I made my very first videos, the 4 Q&As with Christian with this camera, but never again. Then I switched to this Sony RX10 Mark II, which is a bridge camera with a fixed lens, not interchangeable. And this camera has served me well. I made many videos with it. Until recently, actually, I made videos with it. It has a tiny sensor for an SLR type camera. It's mirrorless, but it has a 1-inch sensor. So lighting needs to be decent. The lens, though, goes from a 24mm equivalent full frame to 200, I think. Well, I'm not sure about the zoom range, but I only used the 24mm lens, so pretty wide, and has a f2.8, so great. Then I switched to this Panasonic LX100, and I did that because it has a even wider lens, so I could put the camera really close in this small studio. But I didn't like the picture quality of the Lumix LX100, especially the skin tones looked very yellow. It was very difficult to correct. And there was also the problem with this camera. The footage looked great, but the skin tones were kind of green. And Sony has a name for weird skin tones, so it took a lot of work to get those skin tones right. And sometimes I just gave up. So I was searching for an alternative, an easier way. So for a short time, I switched actually to a webcam, this C920 Logitech. And I did that because I started streaming live. I did it for like a month and I needed a webcam for that. But I found it so easy to use a webcam that I continued with it until I made that video with Jimmy Roseberg, and I saw that the quality was actually pretty low. That's the first time I noticed it. So I switched back to the Sony, but then I got the skin tones problems again. So everybody that I talked to told me, no, you have to switch to Canon if you want good skin tones. So I finally settled on this SL2, Canon SL2 or 200D. It has interchangeable lens, and right now there is a 24mm EFS lens on it. Of course, it's an APS-C crop sensor, so the 24mm is more like 35 or something. So the camera is pretty far away from my seat, but it's doable, and I love the skin tones that come out of this camera or the video in general. Now for lighting is very difficult, because if you watch lighting tutorials on YouTube, they don't work for me because I have a guitar. And the guitar is shiny. I don't only have my face, so I need to have a lighting setup that lights both my face and the guitar without too much shine. So I tried many things, but this is the thing I settled on. There's this key light here with a shower cap to make the light softer. I have this fill light, which is just a lamp from IKEA to fill out the guitar. And then I have this small light down here. It's pointing at my face to get rid of the shadows, to get rid of the big shadows that this light casts on my face. Actually, I settled on this lighting setup recently because I experimented so much with this, but I'm generally quite happy with this. Then there is my laptop right there. Right now you can see a program called Streamlabs, and that is recording both the audio from this Blue Yeti mic and it is recording the tab. So I can switch to the tab like this. Oh, okay, there's no tab now on the screen, but there will be tab. You can see tab right there on the screen, and it's recording both at the same time. You will see that in the next video when I'm editing the footage. You will see how that works. Then I have two stands. This is for my phone that I'm filming with now. I'm controlling the backing tracks with that phone, and there's a tuner on that tuner app. And the sound of the backing tracks just comes from this box here, this Bose speaker. I really love the speaker. It just is on top of my amp, and the backing track is just coming from that. So I'm not recording the backing track separately. It's just all coming acoustically into this mic. And this mic can be set to different modes, and now it's set to Omni, so it picks up sounds from everywhere. And then I have another phone here that controls Streamlabs. So I can start recording with it, stop recording, and I can also put tap on the screen or take it off. Right now it's off, right? But if I press this button here, it should be on, but I have no tab loaded now, so there's no tab there. And then I have my amp for when I use my artstop. I have an amp, it's a AER, and of course my headphones to monitor the sound, because I've had a few times in the beginning that actually didn't record any sound. I had to do a whole video again. It's terrible. What else? Is there something else to see? No, that's it. So that is my hardware. Let's get back to me. One thing I forgot to add about the camera I'm recording with, the Canon SL2 or 200D, is that it has this great feature called dual pixel autofocus, which basically means that it's tracking my face. Doesn't matter where I move my face. It always keeps my face in focus, so I know I'm in focus. With my old camera, it didn't have this feature. I had to actually walk to the camera, because also didn't have a flippy screen. I couldn't see myself, so I had to work with an external monitor. Walk to the camera, put something on my chair like a guitar, then focus on the guitar and then lock that focus, walk back and just hope I was in focus. Sometimes something went wrong and I was out of focus, and that's a really bad feeling to look at footage you shot of a complete video and you're not completely in focus. So with this camera, I know I'm in focus, and that is a big advantage and one of the main features I bought this camera for. And of course the great skin tones. I hope you enjoyed that little tour through my studio, and if you're curious about how I edit all the footage and audio together, then watch the second episode, because I'm gonna use a program called DaVinci Resolve to get it ready for upload to YouTube. There's a link to that episode in the description, and otherwise I will see you this Monday for another episode of Bebop Mondays. Bye!